Year 3, this is Tuesday's math lesson. Well done for all of you for sending in your maths yesterday. It really seems like you're, lots of you are getting the hang of this now and are really understanding how it links between the concrete to the pictorial and to the abstract, to the writing it down. And it's really good for all of us teachers to be able to see just your understanding and just seeing that you can really explain that. So well done for your Monday's work. Tuesday, today, we are going to be carrying on with our column addition. Let me just get the screen for you. There we go. But today, we're going to start looking at greater numbers. So today, we're going to be using our column addition to add 2 3-digit numbers. Okay, and once again, to be successful, we're going to be using that manipulative equipment, that concrete material, to show the understanding. Okay, we are going to show that we know when we exchange in the ones column. Okay, because we don't exchange every time we do a column addition calculation. Okay, so it's all part of understanding when that happens, and also knowing that our place value and understanding all those columns in our column addition and what they mean. So here's a calculation that is represented by Deans. Okay, so imagine you've got these little things here, okay, that we've got in the classroom. What does that calculation show us? Well, I'm sure you're all shouting at me. And you've said, I think it's 46 plus 44 plus 46. Okay, because we've got 4 tens, okay, 40, and we've got 4 ones, our 44. We've got another 4 tens. This time we've got 6 ones. Okay, so 6 ones here and 4 tens. Okay, so hopefully you are going to look at that formal written calculation and you are going to be able to tell me the answer very quickly. I'm sure you are all saying it's 90, Mrs. Pledger. Okay, but why is it 90? Why is there a 0 there? Because I've got no ones anymore. So why do I need to put a 0 there? Well, hopefully you're all shouting at me because I've got to put a 0 there. Otherwise, that number becomes 9. And we haven't got 9, have we? We've got 9 tens, which is 90. But we've got to put that 0 there to show in our ones column, we don't have any ones. And that becomes really important because if you're adding up how much money you've saved, you want to know that you've saved £90, not 9, because there's a huge difference between those two numbers. So it's really important we remember just what those columns mean and what that number represents. That's not a 9, that's a 90, but we need to have our 0 there to show that that whole number is 90 and not just a 9 in the tens column. Okay, so have a look at this calculation. I want you to pause the video and have a think about what is the same and what is different to the calculations that we were doing in yesterday's lesson. What is the same? What is different? Well, hopefully you'll have spotted our symbol, okay? And we are still adding our numbers together. Okay, so we are still doing addition today. So that is something that is the same. Something that's different, though, is that we now have another number. We now have 3 digits in our numbers rather than 2. So if this is the ones column and this is the tens column, what is our next number going to represent? Hopefully, again, you're all shouting at me and you're saying, Mrs. Pledger, I know that's the hundreds column. And you'd be right. So well done. So now our number here is 334. And our second number that we're going to add to that is 129. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to work this calculation out using concrete material. So you're at home. Let's see if you can be really inventive. Okay, we're going to have a go at doing this with our concrete material. Now, I didn't have very much space because I had to use the visualizer to show you. And it starts off not too bad, but when we get into our even greater numbers, it gets a little bit squished. But you guys will have lots more room to be able to do this. You can do it on the carpet, you could do it on the floor, anywhere. Okay, so I've only squished this up so that you can see it all properly. So let's have a look at how I use the concrete material to work that calculation out. So I'm going to start with my ones column, and I'm going to count out 4 ones because that is my ones column there. Okay, so remember, we're going to lay it out just as we would see on the Numicon, just to make it easier for us to subitize. Okay, so I've got my 4 ones, and I'm going to add another 9 ones to that. There we go. I've got 7, 8, 9 ones. So the next column I'm going to look at is my tens column. So I need 3 tens, which represents 30. And I also need 2 tens. So I've got my tens column there all set out nicely. Now for my hundreds, okay, you imagine when we're in school and we have the square deans, don't we? We have the nice square deans, which show us 10 columns of 10 or 100 ones. Now, unfortunately, I didn't bring any of those home with me from school, so I had to go scouting around home, see if I could find something. And I found my coffee coasters, which are a bit dirty. Didn't notice that before. So I've got 3 coasters for my 300, and I've got another 1 coaster to represent 100. So which column do I start with? Well, in formal calculations, in column addition, we always start with our ones column. So the first thing I'm going to do is add up that ones column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 ones there. So what do I need to do? I need to exchange them for 1 10. So I've got my 1 10, and I'm going to put that in the tens column. So now I have got 3 ones left. I now move on to my tens column. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens, because I don't want to forget that one on the bottom. Okay, I've got 60, I've got 6 tens. I then add up my hundreds, and I have got 4 hundreds all together. So my number, my answer to that calculation is 463. That is our concrete example. Now I'm going to move on. Oh, hang on, Mrs. Pledger. Now I am going to do this. Oh, that's the same one again, isn't it? There we go. Now I am going to do this pictorially. Okay, I am going to draw the picture. And this is from some feedback that I've had. This is where some of us are struggling a little bit in going to the pictorial side. So hopefully watching this again today, it will become a little bit clearer for you. So it's the same calculation, but we are doing it pictorially. So I've got my 300s, and I'm using squares this time. I have got my 3 10s and my 4 1s. And then I need another 1 square because that is representing 100, 2 10s, and I need 9 1s. Just ignore this dot here. It's a mark. And this one here, they're marks that I can't get off the whiteboard, so don't get confused. I have 4 1s and I have 9 1s. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm still going to add up my ones column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to stop at 10 and I'm going to draw a circle around that 10 ones because I can't go over 10 in my ones column. I have to stop at 9. So I'm going to draw a circle around those 10 and that 10 becomes 110, but it goes in the tens column. I now have 3 left. So that goes in my ones column. I then count up my tens, not forgetting that one on the bottom. And then I count up my hundreds. So my answer is 463. That is the pictorial way of showing your understanding. So the last one, the last way we are going to show our example, our understanding, is by writing in the formal column addition method. Now remember, I have written it out like this, but when we are doing the formal written method, we are going to write it as I'm writing it on the whiteboard. So I use my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. I write out my 2 numbers and I make sure I've got the addition sign here. And I start with my ones column, 4 plus 9. So I can do it the other way around. I can use 9 plus 4 if that's easier for you. And that's 13, but I need to put that 1 here. Okay, that 1 represents more than 10. Okay, that tells me that I've gone over 10 and I've had to exchange that 10 ones for 110. I then add 3 plus 2, add my 1, and that's 6 tens, that's 60. And then 3 plus 1 is 463. So I've shown my understanding of how to do that addition calculation by showing 3 different ways that I can show my understanding. And luckily, we've got the same answer in all 3 different ways. So pause your video here. You've got the calculation, and I want you to show me the 3 ways that you are able to show the answer. So we want a concrete, followed by the pictorial, followed by the formal written method, the abstract. So pause the video here and off you go. Okay, so I've got the 3 videos to show you. First of all, numbers are getting a little bit bigger now. So I need to have a little bit more space for my concrete materials. And as you can see, I've moved to paper clips. So I've got my 5 ones. And then how many ones do I need for my second number? Well, I need 9 ones. They were trickier than I thought as well. I thought it'd be easier with paper clips, but they're a bit trickier to lay out properly. So I've got my 9. I've now got some pens. So I've got 2 tens, which then, this didn't go very well, did it? 2 tens, and I now need another 4 pens, okay? And they are going to represent 40. So 4 tens, 40. I've now got a lot of coasters, and I haven't got a lot of room, have I? So we had to squidge them up a bit. Luckily, I was able to find enough coasters. So I have got my 7 to represent 700. Oh, zoom out a bit, Mrs. Pledger. And I have got 1 more 100 right there at the bottom. So like I said, you've got far more space than I have. So let's add up the ones column though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need to stop there because I've got 110. And I need to exchange that. I need to exchange those 10 ones for 110. So now how many ones have I got? I've got 4 ones. You just about see my 4 at the top of the page. Now I can add up my tens. Not forgetting that one at the bottom, really important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I've now got my hundreds. There's 8 of them all together. So my total is 874. Let's watch pictorially. So I'm going to draw my ones. And then 9 ones at the bottom. I've got 2 tens. And I've got another 4 tens, 40. And far easier to draw this pictorially than to do it with the concrete. I've got my 700s and I've got another 100, which I'm going to add to that. So which column am I starting with? I'm still starting with my ones column. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I draw around those 10 because they are going to make my 110. I can't have them in the ones column because it gives me too many digits to put in that column. I can only go up to 9 because if I've got 10, that's too many digits to go in my ones column. So now I've got 4 in my ones column and that's okay. I've got 6, but I need to add that 7. So I've got 7 tens. And now I add up my hundreds, 874. Really important when you're doing this, okay, that you really lay it out so that it's really easy for you to see. I've got my 10 ones. I can't keep 10 ones in that ones column. They have to go into the tens column. And my last one, I'm going to write it out in a formal method, lining up my digits. So I've got 725 plus 149. I make sure that my column is lined up properly. So 5 plus 9 is 14. I've exchanged my 1. I've got my 110 to add on, so that's 7 in total. And I've got my 700 plus 100, which is 800. So I've got 874. So hopefully you had something very similar to my examples. Okay, here is another one for you to practice. Again, you are going to show me the concrete, the pictorial, and the abstract. Those 3 different ways of making your answer. Okay, it's not doing it because it's going backwards. This is showing your understanding. I can't stress that enough, that being able to do it in different ways is showing that you can do this, not that you can't. So that's a really important thing for you to remember. Pause your video here and have a go at the 3 different ways to represent that calculation. And this is the last one for today. Now I had to really try to find enough hundreds to use, but I think we managed it. But again, you will have far more room to be able to share, to be able to use all the room rather than having to put it all in a small space so that, yeah, 3 can see it all for you. So here are the paper clips, 2 paper clips, and 9 to represent my 9 ones. And then I'm going to go on to my tens column. So I've got 2 tens. And I have got 6 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is where it starts getting a little bit tricky because I have 5 hundreds. So how many do I need? I need 5 coasters. 1, 2, 3. Come on, Mrs. Pleasure. 4, 5. And I need another 400s. Luckily, I had enough coasters. Who would have thought I would have enough coasters? 1, 2, 3. And she reaches over for the last one. 4. Well done. We have got enough concrete equipment to show this calculation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 110. I have to exchange it. Can't keep anything that's going to give me 2 digits in that one column. So I add another 10. My green pen is now my extra 10. So I've only got 1 paperclip left. I've only got 1 in my ones column. I'm now adding at my 10s, but I need to remember that extra 1. Oh, I forgot that. I forgot to add it on. I need to remember. Otherwise, it would be the incorrect number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nearly forgot that, Mrs. Pledger. 500, 6, 7, 8, 9. 900s. So the answer, 991. That is my concrete example. Here I am drawing, so I'm doing the pictorial representation. So how many hundreds do I need? I need 5, 2 tens, and 2 ones. I also need 4 hundreds, 4 lots of 100, 6 lots of 10. And when we're doing it, okay, it's very tempting to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 goes across there, like when we're doing tally charts. Okay, but we don't do that when we're doing our pictorial representation. We do 6 columns, so we can see clearly that is 6 tens. And how many ones do we need? We need 9. So I count my ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop there, Mrs. Pledger. You need to exchange that one group of 10 for 1 10. There we go. I've now only got 1 left in my ones column because everything else has been exchanged into the tens column. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and my 1 10 is 9 tens. And then I can count up my hundreds. 991. So you've got the pattern. Last one is writing in the formal method. So 522, all lined up in the correct columns with my plus sign. 469, all lined up correctly, so it's easy for me to do my column addition. I add up my ones. Okay, I've got more than I need. I have to exchange, because if I write 11, okay, that's 2 digits in my ones column, and I can't do that. So I have to exchange 10 ones for that 1 10. I add up my tens column, and I add up my 100s column, and luckily enough, that also adds up to 991. Bravo us. So you'll do it for today are these calculations. Now you know what I'm going to say. First of all, they need to be rewritten, okay, in the formal method. You need to show that you can write the columns and you need to show that you can do your column addition. Show these answers pictorially. Okay, show that you can write the answers in a pictorial manner to show your understanding. If you want to, you can also use the concrete method as well. But if you think you're a little bit more confident, then you can move straight to the pictorial way of showing. So pause the video here and have a go. Okay, so I have written them out in the formal method for you. So that is what your work should look like. The answers are there, but that is what you should be doing. You should be lining up your 3 columns to ensure that when you're adding them up, it's really easy to add them up correctly. That is your do it. I hope you found that straightforward. You also have a secure it, which you can move on to. Okay, and it says which calculation is the odd one out? And that all important phrase at the bottom, explain your answer. We want a because or a why. Okay, give your answer. You should have 3 calculations there that you need to work out. And you're deep in it. We have some splats. Again, somebody has been reckless with the paint and gone a bit willy-nilly, and it's all over the maths books. What numbers, what digits would be underneath those splats? Okay. I am sure, year 3, you are going to find this really, really straightforward because of all the work you have done with me and Mr. Kellum last week on column addition. This is the work that we would like to see from you today, all laid out really nicely so that we can see your really good understanding of how the pictorial moves on to the abstract, how it moves on to that column addition. And remember, this is showing your understanding of the topic. Have a go. And we look forward to seeing your work later on today.